We be on fire with This is Unique Hustle. Check it. This is Unique Hustle. It's your boy ECO, and I'm here with the lovely, amazing official Miss Jamaica. What's going on?
Nothing in the all go on. I want y'all to stop what you're doing right now. Go like, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms. When I mean all, I mean our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, we're on it. Just Google us, Boss Talk Podcast 101. We'll pop up first in line, I guarantee you. But y'all always see us on the street and talk about, man, I love what y'all doing. Keep up the good work. How can we support the brand? This is how you can support the brand. Under each and every video, including this one right here on our YouTube channel, there's a link that says join our membership. Click that link, follow all the instructions, and you get all the exclusive content that people have been asking us, where is this content? That's how you can see it. Join our membership. Thank you in advance, and we love you.
Check it, man.
I let them. Yes.
Check it, man. Hey, man, we got a very special guest in the building today. This guy right here, man, I'm not going to play with you, the 80s and the 90s. Listen, man, without him, I don't know if I'll be me, man. A lot of times, looking at what I seen, man, and just understanding how to look at you as a person, I think they drew a perfect picture, man, for us, man, coming up. Nobody else drew that picture, man. My guy is here today, man. Mr. Payne's in the building.
What it do? That was great. You definitely.
I'm just for the ride.
No. You along for the ride, but you could have been in radio. I see what's happening over here for sure. For sure. And then she code switched on us and was like, Bomba Glad, you know.
Man, thank you for coming on the show, man. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
And we are big fans, me and the wife, man. So, I mean, she drugged me to your show years ago.
Word?
Yeah, years ago.
Which one?
It was one here. It was a local, like a comedy show. I remember coming to it. It might have been in Addison, though. But it could have been here or either Addison. But it was in one of them.
10 years
it was years ago.
It was a long time.
It was a year.
And I was performing?
Yeah, you was. I promise you were. I don't know if it was 10. That's too long. Hell no, because we went to Ali Sadiq. That was your first one. And then we went to Hills and Monique's. I remember the ones you took me to.
Yeah.
I wasn't into it. She was like, we're going to decoming show.
Basically, he's saying, you wasn't funny, but I was there anyway.
No, you killed it. I'm a fan.
Thank you. He wasn't into going to comedy shows at that time. That's what it was.
And then, well, that's how most of the time, that's what I was just talking to somebody about the other day. I was like, okay, so for example, because I've been doing this thing for a minute in a lot of different arenas.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the play world, right? The theater world. And the people that go to see these different plays and whatnot that come to town. And I was like, well, the majority to me of the audiences are women. That's the majority of the, and I was like, and then they drag their men.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To the shows.
That's exactly what they do.
So and then after that, like, either, for lack of a better word, not in a disrespectful way, but we introduce each other to different cultures.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And things that we've been reluctant to be a part of, we'd be like, yeah, that was cool. Because we don't want to give it up all the way. Yeah, that was straight.
We don't want to get... No.
I had a good time. Yeah, we're going to do it again. Yeah.
No, guys are just going because they want to have a good night that night.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what that's true. That's true. That's really true. But you was funny as hell because you brought you would talk about some of the things that Cole portrayed. I remember that. You talked about a couple of things. You didn't go back in the Bill Cosby, but the Martin thing, it was delivered. That was my favorite show ever. You was one of the cold ones on there. Had me laughing all the time, playing crazy, but smart as hell. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you,
man, I enjoyed it, man. But let's get to it. Let's do what we do.
So I like.
Yeah, it was a good game. We just got to get better. Better serving that D. Pause.
I like to get into the background because I like to get to know my guests as an individual, not really as your craft.
Me too. I like to get to know my interviewers. So you start first.
No, me first.
Yeah, you start first.
So I know you were born and raised in South Carolina, right? Well, born in South Carolina. How old were you when you left South Carolina?
Real young. Like, I was born in South Carolina, but then I would go back and forth to New York till I was about 5.
Till 5. But were you raised with your mom and dad in the same household?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, because you know that does not always happen. The statistics.
That was both parents.
Wow.
Quite the family. Who would have thought? See, that's our questions, man.
I was raised with mom and dad in the same household as well, but a lot of people that sit in that seat does not attest to that.
Yeah.
but I think that makes them strong as well because they have to deal with both parents different times if they are in their life.
What your household was like too. I mean, just because they both was there
doesn't mean that
they was there.
You know, so.
So how was it for you growing up with both parents in the house?
That's two questions. No, it was like my first earliest memories of my father. He was, he was in the Vietnam War as well.
Wow.
He was in the Air Force. So I remember being on the Air Force base. I remember, so when the older you get, your memories start coming like this. Mm-hmm. So, but no, I remember being on the Air Force base. I remember there was a period of time where I didn't see him. And, obviously because he was at war. And then when he came home for the war, I didn't know who he was again. So when he came to the door and then I was like, get off my mama. Really? Yeah,
wow.
Like, who is this man?
That's real.
Yeah, that was, and she was like, boy, like, and then it was like, because
it came back.
Which me having 4 sons, it's like, dang, I didn't realize at that moment in time, looking back, how important it is to be there for certain crucial parts of upbringing or life, like presence. Your presence,
that's
in a
real.
lot of ways, is necessary. Just your presence, and a lot of times as men and as breadwinners and providers and things of that nature, sometimes we are not there because that's what we're doing, but we don't also know the effect that it might have on your own household.
That's real. That's real.
Because they don't know that. They just know you're not there.
So in that case, it's almost like you were raised by a single parent because he wasn't really there. He was gone.
It was just at one point in time.
One time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because again, you can have two parents in the home the whole time and still be raised by a single parent. Like, so it ain't even, I get what you're saying, but
No, I get it. I definitely know, man. Like I said, I didn't have mine left at 9. My dad did. My stepfather really raised me, so it was an Army thing for a little bit, just for a phase.
That's what I said.
Yeah, and then we went to Vegas, and then we lived here, and then my daddy got mad, called me back. I couldn't stay out there like that. He like, Junior need to come back. I don't care what you got going. You got to get him back here, and I worked for him and stayed with him. So that was a different way that.
So how many brothers and sisters were?
Just 2 brothers and 1 sister, 4 kids in total.
Okay, so but he wanted you back.
Yeah.
So he didn't like them others.
No, they were cool.
Favorite. You was his favorite.
I was old enough to work.
You were his.
No, he worked me. It wasn't.
He mine. I don't know about them
He didn't pay me.
Bring me
He didn't
mine
pay
back.
me.
Bring
He didn't
mine
pay me like
back.
he should have either. I used to get mad about it. I'm like, why they get mad? Why they get paid more than me? The older guys. I'm like,
Gotcha.
But yeah, I worked and did
in the country, Puckwood.
Yeah, it was tough. It wasn't no.
Well, no, I know about growing up in the South, so you ain't gonna tell me.
Oh yeah. But I wouldn't trade it for a thing, man. God rest his soul.
It make you. It builds your character and it forms part of your DNA, and pushes you on your journey.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How'd y'all meet?
Here we go, man.
Absolutely.
This will be the first time we ever told on air how we met, right?
Yeah, he
Yes.
said, she said, go for it.
Okay.
And you can't cut it off. You got to tell your version. Go.
Okay. All right. This is in Terrell, Texas, right, where Jamie Foxx is from, which I know you've been down there very well because M. Legend Brown, that's how I met him.
Okay.
Was down there because I went to school down there, Southwestern Christian College, right? So anyway, I had my own apartment and all of that. And I drove up to my apartment and I'm a tomboy at heart, right? Basketball shorts, T-shirt, bandana, looking a mess. I don't care.
How was her accent back then? Was
Crazy.
It was crazy Jamaican?
Way better. Yeah, way better. I'd have messed it all the way up with the Texas twang. I messed everything
Go
up.
ahead.
So got out of the car. I went to KFC, got me something to eat. Had my Aaron Brockovich movie because I was about to go watch my show.
Hilarious.
Right. And he walks up to me. Did I live in such and such apartment? And at that time in my life, I was getting approached. So I hated it. You know what I mean? All the time.
Right.
I hated it. So he stepped up to me. I was like, oh, Lord, here we go again. But, he started asking me, do I live in this apartment? And I'm like, no, I don't. So forth. He kept talking. First thing, oh, you have an accent. Where you from? And I hate that because that's a whole nother conversation.
Now I got to talk. You brought God into this? Right. Go ahead.
Never asked me if I lived with somebody, if I had a boyfriend, if I was married, none of that. Never asked any of that sort of stuff. At the end of the day, I cut the conversation short, went up to my apartment. He came up there, knocked on the door.
Gave him the address. Yeah.
No, he saw where I went.
I seen it when she was already.
I know. You was already stalking. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So knocked on my door.
Trying to help you.
He said, "Don't you see I'm trying to holler at you?" Just like that.
Right.
And I'm like,
"What's wrong with you, girl?"
Yeah. And I'm like, "No, He said, "Can I get your number?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't give strangers my number." Mm-hmm. And he had that puppy dog look on his face. I was like, I felt bad because I normally never ever tell nobody that. I usually just give him a wrong number and just let him go. And he was like, I was like, okay, fine. Give me your number, put it right here in my phone, but there's 99.9% chance I'm not gonna call you, but go ahead and put it right here.
Yo!
And he put it in there, he left, I went inside, forgot everything. And this was probably about September.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't call him till Christmas Day. And the reason why I called him.
Oh, you told him you wasn't going to. 99%.
I wasn't. I told him that.
Christmas came, it's cold,
And
she's
that was
lonely, he ain't getting no gifts.
months
Yeah.
later.
People.
No.
Who was the puppy dog boy? He might know how to, okay. Yeah, but feeling a little, okay, now I'm getting to the story.
But let me tell you, the reason why I called, he knows, because if you meet my brother is like a geek. So I was at his house Christmas Day, I was bored out of my mind, going through my phone, be like, okay, who can I call? I'm bored. And I'm like, you know what, I've never spoken to him. He might have a decent conversation.
That was the early version of Tinder. Who can I call?
It really was. You're right. Exactly right.
So I called him and, we had a lot in common. Our birthdays are 3 days apart.
He was already there. He was at the house, actually. You just didn't know.
He invited me to his sister's house, but I was like, I can't leave, such and such. But anyway, make a long story short, this was Christmas Day, right? The next day, I went back home. I was ill, so I called him up as like, I'm sick. He was heading out to the country, East Texas. I was like, can you bring me a bottle of liquor? Because my dad used to always put some liquor in like coffee or something when you're sick or whatever. Yes. So he went brought me a bottle. And so to say, because I had cooked that day. So when he came over, he ate food and whatever, and he never ended up going to the East Texas that day. He ended up staying that evening, taking care of me.
Of course.
All of that. What I did not know till years later after I was married, he was going to go see his uncle. He called his uncle that same night when he left my house and said he met his wife.
My uncle told her that. He shouldn't even ran his mouth.
Yeah, I did not know that. He knew at that point that he had met his wife. Okay? I couldn't tell you. If you had asked me what he looked like the next day, I couldn't tell you.
That's right.
Because I wasn't really paying attention.
Right.
But okay, so that's the day after Christmas. January we moved in together. February he proposed, and then May we got married, and it's been 22 years later.
Dang.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm always moving fast. Do everything I do. I just met her. I was like, so why you ain't called this man? Where are you?
What's your story?
I just really think it's cap. Like the part about the 99 times and all that. I never heard that. And to be honest with you, when I went to her door, I was I'm still at the same job, right? Yeah. So I'm an engineer for a company, right? So we was doing actually adding two-way to the system, really. And her house happened to be there, and I had a guy that worked for me that was with me, and he had been over here, and these people been complaining the whole time. Yeah. I thought it was her place, really, that was complaining. So when I met her, I was attracted to her for sure.
But when you wanted to know where she lived, you wanted to know like, hey, you the one? You the black Karen? You the one? That's really what you was coming from. Okay.
So at the end of the day, I was like, you keep calling in, and I'm having to, come out here with Cecil. Not you. It wasn't you, but it was somebody. I didn't. And actually, Cecil ended up.
Have you ever heard this version before?
Yeah.
Yeah, she know it.
Or like after you met her, at that moment, you was like, oh, okay, yeah.
No, after I came back over there and seen her when she was sick, and she cooked for me, that food is what got me.
In the moment when you were talking to her, in that moment.
No, I said I could work on her. I know I can fix this one up. That's what I said.
I know.
Because she had the band on. Yeah, I said I know this one right here got some potential. She just got here to America. She hadn't been here long. I was like, okay, I know I can work with this one.
I can't take him.
But I definitely, to be honest with you, it was the best decision I ever made, man, because without that decision, things would have went crazy, because it was already a thing where I was challenging myself to be better with God. That's why it happened so fast, because I wanted to live with her and be, having relations and all that. Yeah. That was messing with me, because I was like, man, I've been, I supposed to be unchanged. And a lot of time people not willing to condition themselves to move forward because they fear. You know what I mean? They walk in fear instead of faith. Mm-hmm. So I ended up asking her to marry me real quick, to be honest with you. And I don't regret it. It's been some tough times. You married.
Listen,
it's been some crazy times.
Listen, I just think it's crazy and funny how people, meet and do those things. And then those will be the ones that last the longest, because people think, oh, you got to date and all this for
That's what I grew up thinking.
All of this,
That's what I grew up thinking.
But my parents did too, and I had to get on them.
Right. Now I'm gonna give you some credit too, because I know why he's dead. I know why. I know why he didn't go. He was like, I'm never going. Hello, Angie. Yeah, I'm never coming home.
I told my ex.
But you called your uncles. Like, everybody. Guess what? We made it.
Yeah.
He broke up with his girlfriend at that time.
Yeah.
After meeting me, and then
Ooh, that's another story I got to hear. But this is good. This is good stuff. 22?
22.
You got us beat, right?
You're 30-some years.
Yeah, well,
I got to hear your story now. Since you put me out there, let me hear your
boss talk.
My biggest thing with you was, and since you did that, I called a few people on you, right? And you don't realize I did. But at the end of the day, you have a son that's really your stepson, right? Mm-hmm. And by Bobby Brown's is Bobby Brown's biological son, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing I admire about you and what I've heard about you is that the blending of the families and the way that you guys, like, I have an older daughter and son, mm-hmm. and she does the same thing, but I commend you for that, because I bring them all together. Mm-hmm. So that's got to be dope. Like, how was that, and how did you master it?
Trial and error. I mean, there's no book for it, Yeah, it's just, it's just about where I'm from and my upbringing and how I was already like doing things at an early age in terms of taking care of things, taking care of people, just even that mindset of, plus I never thought there was nothing I couldn't do. So even if I didn't know how to do it, I was going to figure it out.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I'll say I got this before I got this, because I know I got this.
I like that. I like that.
Figure it out.
Yeah. But like I said, in general, I was already, and plus, like when you got just like with you guys, right? So did you have a daughter when you met her?
Yeah,
daughter and a son.
They both raised up in my house with me.
So when you made the decision, you had to know that was a package deal. Mm-hmm. And that's a thought that you have to think about when you say, okay, if I commit to this, it's a package deal and everything that comes along with this.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
I really didn't think about it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you figured it out.
They figured it out.
She had to. Right. She got that "you not my mama" thing going. Right, that happened early on, right?
This was an actual conversation. This was a thought. Mm-hmm. This was something that was pre-thought about. Like,
that's right.
But also because, we dated for a certain amount of years first. So I spent a lot of time with him already. Yeah. Because she had custody of him. So
How old was he when you came into his life?
5. He's 38.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, so I knew going into this thing what it was.
That's dope, though. I commend you, brother.
And at a young age, too, because I wasn't even, when we started dating, I wasn't 21 yet. Wow. I wasn't even 21 when we started dating. So.
Wow, that's dope.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying.
But you know what I always tell people, I always tell couples, for me, some people, being a female, they're like, oh, you really gonna marry somebody who already have kids, that baby mama drama, that all of that sort of stuff. And then now I would tell them, I said, to me, it prepares you to have your own kids, because having a boy and a girl, because I don't look at them as stepkids, those are my children as well. Mm-hmm. I knew exactly how a boy acts and how a girl acts, because boys and girls go through these stages in their teenage age, they switch personalities, and it's so crazy.
I also think that, it depends on what age you're doing all of this.
Okay.
Right. Depends on what age you're actually, because life experiences at that point, right? Like now, I mean, whatever age you are now.
Oh, I'm old. Shit. Whatever. I'm old.
I'm just saying, right? Like you making that decision today
Would be different.
is different because you have more experience, right?
Correct.
And so versus making that decision 20 years ago,
Right.
30 years ago. So
Yeah, man. Like I said, man.
plus the world is different.
The world
Exactly.
is way different, man. Way
But they
different.
say there's nothing new under the sun, so there's certain things, you can work through the same way. The basic, the foundation part of it.
Of course.
I want to get into your whole situation when it comes to television and just the art and you going to school. You went to school. You just always knew that you was going to be an actor and you was going to be in musical dancing and all that.
Nah, just So yeah, I mean, kind of, sort of, right?
It seems that way.
Kind of, sort of, like I fell into it without knowing anything about it first. You know what I'm saying? There was a little girl who I was friends with. She was into all of this stuff. I was just hanging out with her, and
How old were you?
young, elementary.
Oh,
Wow.
elementary.
That's what I'm
young.
telling you. It seemed like you had it all figured
Yeah,
out.
elementary, and she was, our parents were friends. Our parents and her parents were friends. So, and she went to my school. Long story short, she was the one that kind of exposed me. Plus, they exposed me, to the world, that world.
Go ahead, man.
Lord have mercy.
I got to say pause on everything.
You be doing that
Yeah,
too.
but it wasn't like that before people started doing
It
it.
wasn't like, because then it'd be like, y'all put the story up, clickbait, Carl Payne exposed.
Stop.
So he, there was a group of people that came to my school. You know how you have in the auditorium. I'm
Yeah.
like, today's guests, we have guests, guys. You go to the auditorium, and it was like a dance company that came, and they did a performance, and then they asked people afterwards who wanted to come and try to do some of the stuff, and that's how it happened. So
Okay.
I went on stage, and they saw me, and they were like, oh, damn. And then they offered me a scholarship, and then, different things like that.
Was
So-
it ballet? What type of dancing was this?
You know what type of
ballet. You was ballet,
Go,
but
man,
you
go.
know, because I pop locked and all that. I don't know what you had
It was
going
ballet,
on.
player. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
you in
man.
there,
You
but,
know.
I'm trying, who did we interviewed somebody else that said they did it for the women.
No, yeah, well,
It was somebody we interviewed.
Yeah, I
said
can't
that.
remember.
but I didn't know. I didn't.
You was young.
I didn't know a lot about a lot of things at that time. But to me, I was like, okay, this is fun. She was into it. We were friends. You know what I mean? I honestly, the stereotypes of the world got put upon me after the fact, right? So I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm glad for it, because maybe if I had those reservations
You would've never done
beforehand,
it.
I might not have done it. You know what I mean? But so when people always ask me about my trajectory and how I got to it, I'm like, because I said yes. I said yes a lot to opportunities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Different things I remember they were shooting a movie. Plus, I grew up watching the movies. I grew up watching TV. So I wanted to be a superhero. I wanted to be all of those things that I saw on TV. Tarzan. I used to run around with underwear on and a stick. Like, you understand? Like I wanted to be these things. I had a
Right.
vivid imagination. You couldn't tell me when I was on my bike and I had that towel around my neck that I was not flying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to, Aquaman. I wanted to be these characters.
That's hard. That's hard. I get it.
And I would try to hold my breath underwater, swimming as long. And this is how I learned how to do a lot of stuff, trying to be these characters.
You
Yeah.
were never shy. You were never you had that courageous spirit from a young age. Like, where did you get that from? Because
a
kids are like,
combination of having to go, growing up in South Carolina and New York. You got to think about it. You grew up in the country, and we had to go outside. We had to break stuff. We had to figure it out until the sun came down. Like, you had to make something of something rather than doing this all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which all of that builds character. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you figure stuff out real quick. But you had to make friends. You had to be friends. You had to, you had to do stuff. So.
Well, and the one thing I can say, man, like when I seen you, we go into the Cosbys and just think about the time that was. You didn't see successful families, black, on TV like that.
Yeah.
So that was commendable. When you heard somebody was a lawyer and a doctor, and
but there were people there. They existed. That's the thing. It's just that they weren't being represented on TV or in film.
Yeah.
Because man, my friends in DC, in different areas, that's who they were. Very affluent.
Really?
Yes.
So when you went on the set, you was used to seeing that type of family.
I was used to seeing not
Lawyer, doctor.
not a lot of them, but yeah, they existed. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely, 100%, man.
Well, not in the South, but up there where it was something we looked up to, you know.
Right. But I think it was in the South too. It just wasn't being shown.
That's right.
Because I mean, you go to Georgia today, you go down there to Georgia, and it's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first went, that's all I saw was affluent black folks.
Correct. Me too. When I first went,
You
as well.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, how did they get all this?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they always been there, just never represented on.
In the public.
And during those times, like even me being from a small country town, you would see that blacks own their own business, and we kind of kept ourselves separated. Even the schools were separated at first before they desegregate, whatever, you know. But I'm just tripping off the fact of how business with black people was owning things during that time, but we didn't really look at it like that. I didn't. We looked at it like, man, we need to go over here and, you know, mingle and mix, to be honest with you. That was more our forte of what we were trying to do at that time. But it really might not have been a good thing for us.
I think the problem is when you are led to believe what you need versus realizing what you need.
What you have to.
Not realizing what you have already, right? Right.
Correct.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, because it's like, you know, when you look at the biggest consumers, when you look at the whatever, you know, you look at the numbers. If you knew to look at the numbers, right? You know, you got to have a different scope. But when you're programmed, which is programming, when you're programmed to have a certain thought process or, you know, whatever, then that's what you think it has to be. You don't know another way until you do another way. But then they also will make it so that when you go another way and you get smacked on your hand or something, you're like, ooh, I don't want to go over there. I don't want to do it that way. That way might not be the right way, because they don't want you to know that that's the right way.
Right.
They don't want you to know that. And it's been like that since the beginning of time, whether through slavery. It's like they'll make an example of someone constantly so that you don't want to get outside of your comfort zone, your box, your whatever, you know. And so, you know, we you know, recognizing your own power, recognizing your own strength in numbers, not only in numbers, but within yourself.
That's real.
You know, that's the thing that, and sometimes you got to be you have to be the example, right?
That's
you
real.
got to go out there and say, look, if I can do this, you can do this. You know, trust me. Look, I did it. So come on.
Let me ask you this.
But I want to stay on something.
Go ahead.
But, you know, the crazy thing is that growing up, you always taught, okay, go to school, get a job, do this, till you had the generation change where everything is so entrepreneurship. Oh, you don't have to go work for nobody. Create your own lane now.
Well, look at it like this. Oh, what's your question? Because I'll address it. I'm sorry. What's the question?
No, but what I'm saying is that change that you were talking about, somebody had to step out to create that change of mind where it's not really, you don't have to go this route. It's okay to now be an entrepreneur and disappoint your parents. They're stuck in that way of thinking that you have to do this, but you have to take on your own path and create.
There's so many. Well, it's if it's in you, if you got that spirit in you, you know what I mean, like you said. And so it's one of those things where you're right. We've been programmed so long because, again, if all I wanted you to do was stay where you are, of course that's what I'm gonna make sure that you think. Because it's needed. I need you as a worker bee.
That's right. That's right.
To make this thing work.
That's real.
I need worker bees. Period. So if you know what I'm saying, drones. I need drones. There's a lot of drones out there. So, you know, I already know that there's going to be a few rebellious ones that are, you know, but if I can control the masses, these few won't matter.
Wow. I'm really, like I said, as I talk to you, And I think about, when you was on the Cosby, you was 14, 15. When did you get were you into girls at that time? Because my son,
As
15 right now. No, I'm just saying, were you into like having a girlfriends and getting your heart broke at that early age? My son, how old is he? 16 now. And he had his girlfriend, about 15? So I thought about that. I say, you was on the set. Was you thinking about business? Or was you or was you thinking about girls?
I wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about handling my business.
With the girls. Yeah, because you're 15. That's all I'm thinking. I'm like, when I'm 15, I'm on the phone. I'm all night on the phone.
Well, you have to understand, too, like, even though it seems as if I was, this outgoing whatever, I was really shy, to be quite honest. I was able to be these things if I was these people, in terms of if I played this character, if I became Aquaman, if I was, that was an escape, right? That was a way for me to, you know what I mean? And it's crazy too if you try to like emulate, like think about it like this, right? If I'm 12 years old, but I'm watching a scene from Saturday Night Fever, you know what I mean? John Travolta, who is clearly way beyond, and now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take that scene and I'm gonna put it, I'm gonna sound crazy, but that's what I was like. Okay, if I saw something and I didn't know how to talk to somebody, or if I was like, okay, I'm gonna pretend to be this person and this persona, and then I might, but then it was just having the guts to do that.
Right.
But when I got famous, when I started doing commercials first, when I started doing things way before Cosby Show, it made me more popular.
Okay.
And with that came attention. So then I didn't have to work so hard. It was like, oh, I don't have to say nothing. She came to me. I didn't have to say nothing. But then I didn't know how to deal with that either when you get approached by, someone who is aggressive, because, them girls, You
made me think about something.
I'll never forget, man. I was dating this chick, or at least I liked her anyway. We were supposed to be dating, whatever. And her, and how you would sneak on the staircase and maybe kiss or something. And that's all I knew how to do. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm the best kisser on the planet. I'm the kiss master, baby. And most of the girls was taller than me anyway. So I always had to stand on one step while they stayed down here. Even go up in the South, like, I'm gonna walk you home. We walk through the woods, we stop in the middle of the woods to kiss, but I gotta stand on the tree stump, like the log, just to get, because the girls was tall, man. I don't know. But I wasn't gonna deter me from getting this kiss under the moonlight in the woods.
We done watched the movie.
Yeah, because I was always the star of my own movie. You don't even understand.
So you always romantic.
I am. And so my point, I am.
Because the way how you talking, I'm hearing it.
And to this point, so when they came, they came up to me, and I was talking to this one young lady, and, her brother, who was younger than me. So and she older than me, so I'm in between both of them. But her brother had to tell me, which was wild too. He was like, "Hey, man, put your hand, grab on something, dude." I'm like, "What?" Because he's sitting there watching us kiss, And I'm like,
he's trying to help him.
And I'm like, did she tell you to say this to me? Like, I don't understand. Like, because he's watching, because they going home or walking home, And we stopped, do our little kiss for about whatever, and then, but he was like, "Hey, man, like, like, get up under there, do something." I'm like, "What? I can't. I got permission."
You ain't gonna get hit.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna just go grabbing the cookies without
permission.
Yeah. I was like, "You sure she want me to do this?"
Let me ask you.
Hold on, but I want to know. Okay, with that stardom, and because he was getting popular and stuff like that, and then you now, wanted to like say, "I have a girlfriend. This is my girlfriend," but that's not stopping all these other girls from trying to holler at you and being aggressive.
No, it wasn't about that life at all. That happened differently. That was something that happened at school.
So how did you handle that when you had all these other people trying to approach you when you are now?
Where is this question coming from? Where is this question coming from?
You know what I think about? I think about how your experiences can help somebody who is coming up in that status, who is dealing with those situations of how can I handle all of this?
These guys don't do it like we did it. We slow dance and everything. This is a whole different. They don't even have slow music no more. So he ain't helping nobody.
They talk with emojis. It's a whole it's like, but I hear what you're saying, and they're probably not watching this show.
Yes, they will. When I clip it and put it out there, they will.
Well, okay. I'm not talking about the people who. I'm talking about their age group and audience, right? It's like if you haven't figured it out. If you 15, that's one thing. If they're the 15-years are watching,
they already getting down.
I'm saying they're watching your show. 15-years,
20s and up.
No, 20s and up.
You should have it figured out. At 20-something years old, you supposed to know a little bit of something.
You'd be surprised. I know something.
So I was being nosy because of the fact that you young. It was just an adventure for me to understand what the hell was going on in your mind on that set like that.
No, it was. It was a kid in a candy store.
That's what I'm saying. Me? It was going down.
Kidding me, man?
That's what I was talking about.
Let me tell you something, man. It was the best time to be alive. Trust me on that. But to your point and to your question, if I was to give anybody any advice out there, take your time, get to know, become friends, get to know the person. Don't rush into the carnalities, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Learn the person, and never stop dating the person. So
that's real.
But how can they resist all of the temptation that be coming their way? Because when you are at a certain status or you're becoming popular, you have women who are hitting on you.
I guess because people should think to themselves, what is this really about? Like don't drink your own Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? It's one thing to have fun and enjoy that aspect of life in terms of, okay, I have access now to all these different things and these different people that I would have never.
Right.
But it's like when you really take inventory first, because you don't want to wake up one day and, having drank your own Kool-Aid and think, damn, I really thought these people really liked me.
Exactly.
I really thought these people loved me. Think about it. Like, that same person, would that same person have talked to you if it wasn't you? Would that same person have even let you talk to them or introduce, because people sometimes think of themselves as more than themselves. And it's like, you just God's creature, right? You just have a talent and a purpose and a gift. But at the end of the day, what is the soul of this person? What is the essence of this person?
That's
How
real.
do you know what I mean? Like, and you spend time with them and you do little, I would say, it's not called playing games, but you know how you test people sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like hey, I'm stranded on the side of the road. I don't have any. And meanwhile, you're not stranded, but you just want to see what this person is going to do or say. And it's not about asking for money, because it's not a money thing. You know what I mean? Because it's not saying send me any money or anything, but it's almost like, okay, where are you at? Where are you? Let me see how I can help you. Let me see, and that's what most people really have to understand to help. What is someone bringing to the table in terms of adding to your table?
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's where and people also get the misconstrued with equally yoked. Equally yoked doesn't mean you have to have as much money as I do. You have to. No, it means where's the balance. So
you complete me.
The balance is equally yoked. If I'm organized and you're not, but you're great at this and I'm not, that's the thing. People think it's like you got to have the same thing. No, you know what I mean? But if you adding value, value is value.
Exactly.
That's real. I want to ask you something, man. When you look at today's climate, and you look at, and I'm shifting gears, the internet, far as the comedians, the way the comedy is on the internet, versus you doing the stand-up. I want to get into your stand-up and just go into the fact of, how did you even first get into stand-up? You know what I mean? Being that, I know I seen Martin on the, Def Comedy Jam and all that, but how did you get into it?
Recognizing that shows were given to comedians, right? They'll give a show to a comedian in a heartbeat. Look at all the shows. Look at every sitcom you can think of. All the shows have comedians at the forefront. surrounded by the best actors on the planet. So Seinfeld, Martin, Cosby, Roseanne, Red Fox. You just go down the line. Now, it's not to say that these people themselves weren't entities, or forces to be reckoned with, Bernie Mac, right? It's like, not to say that, but that was the formula. And I felt like, dang, if I ever want to I thought I had already proved that I'm Batman or that man. I already did that. But no, because perception is everything. If you're constantly being Robin, they see you as Robin until you show them you Batman. So I was like, oh, this is what I got to do.
Okay.
I got to go over here, even though I thought I had already did that, to show them, just so they can see that, and then I get what I want.
How was you received?
By who?
By the crowd, by the people who had to see you in that in that light. Was it just open arms, like, oh,
No.
You had to work at it.
Yeah. No, it's a fraternity, man. It's I respect it. I respect comedians and I respect the craft. I respect what they do. Yeah. And I approached it the same way that I approached my craft, my acting craft, and this, that, and the other. I learned and I paid my dues. And I went on, I went to, Ali Sadiq, I call him the absentee dad, because, he was one of the ones that,
shout out,
that took me under his wing, but threw me in the water. Like, he was like, all right, swim. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So, and he's one of the, he's one of them ones. He's one of them ones, you know what I mean? And I took something from everybody in terms of building my own pot of gumbo, and no, it wasn't well received, because it was like, how you gonna come over here? We trying to get to where you at. We trying to do what you doing. So now you think you gonna come, just like how I might feel about certain entities that exist out there jumping into my genre of, whatever, because it's like, oh, so because you was on a reality show, you think you can,
So,
because we asked Gary Owen, we asked Gary Owen in an interview recently, because actors, comedians, can a comedic actor actually do stand-up? And can you tell the difference?
And what did he say?
He said, when you see a person who is an actor, comedian, stepping over into stand-up, you can tell that they're acting like a comedian. They're trying to act like. You can tell the difference. That's what he said. Right. And what is your views on that?
That's been his experience. That's his experience. And he's right to some degree, but not everybody. Mm-hmm. Not everybody. And it's been proven. Mm. It's been proven. I mean, you look at Jamie Foxx, for example. You can look at a lot of people who. No,
that's hard.
That was acting first.
No, you have to understand what I'm saying. He wanted to be a singer first.
Right. Sure did.
So don't tell me that when you look at him on stage, you see somebody acting like, no, I get it. I'm not going to name names out there because I ain't trying to do that.
No, but definitely Jamie is one that you cannot deny.
My point being,
hard.
My point being, it's not. He's right in the sense that some are, but you can't. That's not everybody. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something. I've been a lot of the ones out there, a lot of the ones that are respected and that I respect, then already.
Got it.
That's real.
In terms of what I do and how I do it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, man, and to the point where they thought it was always that way. It was like always this first, not that. So it's the opposite of what he's saying.
You can't tell the difference.
It's the opposite of what he's saying.
Yeah.
and it's because of the way that I approached it. Like I said, it's almost like you just happen to get, and I have been doing it too already for a minute beforehand. But it's like if you get famous doing one thing, like Fox, if he went out to California or he was really wanting to be a singer, but he's like, man, all these different avenues to get to the same place. And you got a wheelhouse of everything, but it's almost like perception. Like I said, so once you're accepted as one thing, it's this, that, and the other. Now it's like, oh, this is who you are. We're gonna put you in this box. You can't put me in the box, dog. You can't put me in the box. You can't hold me. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and I'm gonna do it on levels that are high, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But dang it, I had a point I wanted to make with regards to. It'll come back to me. I might have a Tourette's moment, but it'll come back to me. With regards to
the acting and
because there, like I said, there are people out there who are trying it, and you can absolutely tell, but they don't give it the same because it wasn't already in them.
Do you feel like because they've learned the art? Because they said there's an art to being a stand-up comedian.
Absolutely.
So once they've learned that and mastered that, so now you can't really tell the difference.
Right.
But they have to go through that path first.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it's like learning. It's learn anything else. It's definitely a learning curve and process and all of that because it's an art form.
Which is harder.
This is the point.
Okay, go ahead.
Comedians have a different psyche and a different mindset. Mm-hmm. They have a different way of thinking in terms of on a daily basis because that's the muscle that they've trained and honed to pay attention to for so long. It makes sense, but if you take a Robin Williams, for example, it's almost, to me, it's almost like you're diminishing. I would never make that statement because it diminishes the other art form. So basically because that's like me saying, oh, well, I can tell a comedian who's trying to act. There's so many examples of that not being true, but there are examples of that being true, right? Mm-hmm. And if I take Robin Williams, one of the greats, born to do what he does, has had it all in him. So, where's the line there? You don't know it. When you do Good Morning Vietnam, when you do The Fisher King, when you can, take a John Leguizamo, I can take you here and take you there. I can make you, and take a script and take a real, because you have all these real life experiences. It's about being bold. It's about taking chances. It's about having no fear, and it's about committing. But yes, in terms of separating the two arts, forms and crafts, it is an art form, and it's to be respected. Both.
Which is harder?
Which is harder?
Craft to do.
I think that would be unfair for me to answer that based on what I said before in terms of which muscle was trained more. Okay. But I personally think that stand-up is it's a different animal. It's a different beast because you're literally out there naked. You're out there on your own. But I grew up doing theater. So, in terms of being present in the moment,
you're used to it,
and not knowing what's going to happen and what can go on. That's a whole nother thing than having something that is where you get a second chance.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a whole different animal. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say harder, but maybe you're right. Maybe that would be. I would, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Could you tell a shift in the jokes far as, from the earlier days to now, the way people have to, with this sensitive culture, so to say?
Absolutely.
Did you have to switch up anything, or was you running clean cut comedy?
I constantly have to switch it up. When I run it past folks, they're like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't say that. And I'm like, and it sucks because it's like, damn, man, like what? The one safe space to be able to, the one forum that should be off limits and has always been, whether, you look at it, look at The Living Color, look at Saturday Night Live. They constantly do it. Why is it, it's been okay. Where do we start giving power to? So I don't give it no power. I do it anyway. I don't give it no power. I do it anyway. Like you're not about to tell me that my version and my truth and my point of view is going to be clickbaited and taken out of context to where I have to edit. Look, some things, motherfucker is the right word. Motherfucker
is the right word.
Motherfucker word.
That's real.
I can't say that. It don't make the same point.
No, that's real.
You know,
that's
you look
real.
at like it was the clinical terminology was mentally retarded. That was the clinical term by the medical association.
And you can't even say that.
Can't say it.
No, he's neurodivergent. What? Okay, well, my cousin is retarded. I don't know what my
That's real.
cousin. I'm not
real.
talking about the rest of the world. I'm talking about my cousin.
That's real. That is so true, man. Like, you just basically, you know, you got to watch how you say things. But I watched Eddie Griffin do one, and it was his whole set. When he left Dallas, they were talking about it for weeks. You know what I'm saying? I was like, but I loved the show.
Eddie don't care.
He didn't care.
Eddie does
Listen,
not
I loved
talk
the
about
show.
black, white, gay, whoever.
everything.
He
I was
don't
like,
care.
this dude is on it tonight, man. The next day, I heard it all over the place. I was like,
we
I
were
was
there
there
that night.
I enjoyed the hell out
But see,
of it.
the problem is though, like, why wouldn't it be just about being funny versus talking about the controversy of it, right? Because if you go back, like I said, you look at Eddie's first, was it Raw or was it Delirious? I think it was Delirious. His whole first 15, 20 minutes was considered cancelable.
Oh yeah, Eddie Murphy for sure.
Today, but but it wasn't about that. It was about, man, that was hilarious.
Wow.
It's hilarious. And the ones he was talking about was laughing too. So it's like, huh?
I guess you're right. You're absolutely right. Do you ever watch Martin?
Fake news.
Fake
news.
Do you ever the show Martin?
I catch it from time to time.
You do?
Flipping through the channels, like when I'm, in a hotel room or something. Like I don't sit at home.
Yeah.
And do it. No, like it'll
What?
be like, oh, because sometimes I want to see if I remember that episode or what happened, or if I like that episode, because I can remember. Those are memories,
Yeah.
And I'm like, and sometimes I feel like I'm watching something that's not me, like outside of my body.
Really?
I'll be like, I said that. That was funny. Ha, that's crazy. Oh, I remember that. Like it's almost like looking at moving it's moving memories for that I was a part of versus, you know what I mean?
Never thought of it like that.
Was it times when you felt like your weight was here and you look at yourself on screen, different times when you was this way versus another way?
Say it again, I'm
like
sorry.
far as your weight and the way that because people change. Like when I look at a picture,
Yeah.
I'll be like, damn, I was.
That's
man,
personal. That's funny.
No, I'm just saying. When I look at a picture, I'll be like, damn, shit changed over the years.
Yeah.
But you stayed the same. Maybe you stayed the same the whole damn time.
No.
Shit.
I do look at different projects like that for sure. For sure.
Have you ever had to gain weight or anything like that for shows
I
and
ain't never
stuff?
had to gain weight.
Lose
no.
weight?
Personally, nothing that they did. It's all me.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's like oh, this is when my wife was pregnant. That's when we had our second child. Because
You can tell we had our second child.
everything she ate, I ate. Like I remember, and I was like,
That's why
But
I
you don't
asked
realize
that.
it in the moment until you looking at it, and you're like, oh damn, look, ooh. Like even the show that my show on Nickelodeon right now. I got a show on Nickelodeon.
Okay.
Called Young Dylan. We just finished our 5th season, and
Wow, congrats.
and yeah, you were starving until you wasn't, and then you get comfortable, and you're like, damn. And then the older you get, it's harder to keep all that stuff off, and I'm like, man, I'm looking at it like, damn, okay, I can't. Ooh, I'm looking like Uncle Phil for real. Let me go ahead and switch this up.
What was your favorite episode on Martin? Do you have one?
I don't have one.
Or the most memorable to you?
All of them. Well, I can't say all of them, but most of them where we had guest stars that I grew up watching.
That was it.
Which made me, it's like one of those surreal moments because it's like, again, you grow up watching these people wanting to be a part of whatever they're a part of. Now you're a part of it and you're a fan, and then they're a fan of yours, which is also surreal because you're like, what? You know me?
Did you fan out for anyone?
Not outside of my body.
Just inside, right? I heard these stories before.
Yeah,
Right?
not outside my body. I mean, I played it low. I kept it cool because, but it was very...
Who was that person that you did the most in your head?
Michael Jackson.
That's hard. You met Mike?
Yep. I mean, kind of, sort of.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that story. Come on now. Share it.
He had just won his court trial. He had just won the verdict. And I guess they were having a celebration at Neverland. And I was invited. You know, it was invite only. And as a matter of fact, I think Tommy Davidson was hosting the joint.
Really?
Okay.
Tommy Davidson, they were, you know, this was like, you know, they were having on the ranch. It was going to be a bunch of people, you know, families and all of this stuff, but it was invite only. And, you know, he lives out in like the middle of nowhere, right? And so it was one of those things where it's like, you got to make sure you got gas because ain't
no gas stations.
And it's this little bitty town. It's a little bitty town that you go through right before you get to his mountain. Mm-hmm. You know, and it was crazy because, I mean, obviously, you know, I grew up, I was a super Michael Jackson fan. Super fan. Super like.
You knew how to do the moonwalk, everything.
Let me tell you something. You don't even know. You don't even know the half.
You had the jacket.
I had what?
The glove.
I still got it. Like, no. You don't even know. Like, you don't even know how many Michael Jackson impersonator contests I won growing up to see him in concert and all of this. Like, I got footage y'all didn't even understand.
Wow.
You couldn't even see the color of my wall for Michael Jackson posters. And my dad got sick of it one day. I'll never forget. I didn't even know I had a wall. I came home and he had taken all the pictures down and threw them in the trash.
What?
And I walk. You know how you walk in your room?
He's like, this not my
different
room.
because it's brighter. Because the room, my walls were actually blue. I just didn't know that. I hadn't remembered that. And you know how you walk in and then you walk back out and you go. And I went in there and I was like, this motherfucker. This motherfucker. And I was like 14, 50, you know, but in my head I was like, this motherfucker didn't took that. Mom! So.
What was his reason? Did he give you an explanation? He don't have to give you an explanation.
I mean, you know, dads can be assholes. I don't know. He was pissed about something. Who knows, you know.
When he took him down.
You know, and a part of me to this day, I think, you know, jealousy played a lot of part into it too. Because, you know, again, we talking about that in the home shit. Mm-hmm. And if I'm the one that's actually doing all this stuff, being the bread, and I get the attention, you know, and now all of a sudden I'm the breadwinner, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You know
at 14.
Exactly. Different story.
I'm going to take his Michael Jackson.
Different show.
Down. Yeah, I'm taking him down.
Right.
So finish the Michael Jackson. So when you get there.
I get there and he has like, I think it's a small world after all, or he's got all these Peter Pan. There's like a bunch of crazy shit leading up to the gate to his house. It's like, it's immense. It's incredible. I've never seen it. I thought I was going to a theme park. Incredible.
Wow.
But I was late. And I was rushing. I had my family with me, and I was late. I was like, man, come on, y'all gonna make me miss him, you know, because I figured he was gonna get on stage and do something to him. Like, but I'm at his house. This man, we walked through the gates, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm looking at this palatial estate. I mean, acres of stuff, you know, and I thought his house is right here because it was this huge 2-story big old house. They was like, no, that's a house dedicated to just games. I said, what happened?
Huh?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, a monstrosity of a house that has nothing but games inside.
Wow, that's
like,
huge.
What? And I'll never forget. I was like, okay, well, off in the distance, there was picnic chairs and things like that, and people set up when he was walking. And I guess he had came out at the same time, right? And I had my whole family with me. I had 2 sons at that time with me, and I was with my wife, and we're walking, and you know, he had trampolines in the ground because there was a bunch of kids playing around and stuff like that, right? And he had trampolines in the ground, and people was like jumping on him. I was like, what is that? Like, how are they doing that? I was like, oh, that's a trampoline. He got it in the ground? Like, it's on the ground? That's crazy, right? And the kids, I'll never forget it. We were walking, and it was like a trajectory, and he's tall and big-ass hands. I mean, hands like, I ain't never seen nobody hands that big. He was walking, and somebody was holding an umbrella over him. And I don't know if you've seen the movie Powder. Remember that movie Powder?
Yes,
about
yes,
that boy
yes.
That's what
Wow.
Mike looked like, right? I was like,
yeah.
Who is this white man?
White.
He was walking, and then I realized, because it was like people started realizing, you know how when somebody's walking through the crowd and then the crowd started, because everybody was doing their own thing, so nobody was really paying attention. But I was like, that's him. And he was walking, and we were on the same trajectory. And the kids wanted to go jump in the trampoline, so I let their hand go. And my wife was like, hey, you can't just let them run off. But I was focused. I was stuck right here. I was like, they're going to be okay. They're going to be all right. And I was like, he just won the trial. Like, you know, thinking, I didn't know what she was worried about. Like, them getting lost, something happening to them. I was like, what do you, you know, but I was focused. And I was like, they're going to be okay. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. She was like, get there. I was like, you get the kids. Because I'm about to meet. And I started trying to walk faster, and that's what happened. You know, I let the kid's hand go, but I was moving fast. Like, okay, no, I got to catch up. And as I got closer, you know, the bodyguard looked, and so did he, because I was beelining, and he looked at me, and then he did a double take, and he went. He hit me with the hey you.
He knew.
He hit me with the hey you.
Did you just fall out?
He hit me with the hat, and I just stopped walking. I stopped in my tracks, like, he know who I am.
That's hard, man.
He know me. It wasn't like, hey, little black boy, hey, hey, thanks, you know, because, you know, it was people all around. So it was almost like, I see you.
Wow.
I know who you are. Thank you for coming type shit.
Wow.
And I was like,
that's enough.
I stopped, and I just stopped because she was like, get your kids. And I'm like, you fucking up the moment. You are killing the game right now in my head. Like, do you know? And I'm like, she's like, I don't give a. I'm like,
wow. How long did y'all stay out there?
Couple of hours.
Couple hours,
yeah. Because I went in because I was like, well, I'm gonna go in the house. That's when I found out it was the game. I was like, I'm gonna go. When everybody get put out, I'm already be in the house. Yeah, because all these people can't stay.
That's
and
real.
I walked in the house, and it was the game room, and I was like, what? Where am I? And it was a bunch of just games on every floor.
Wow.
Machine, pinball, and you know, I was like, this is crazy. This ain't the house. It was like, no, the main house. You got to take a train to get. I was like, a train?
Wow.
To get to the main house? I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm invited to that one. I don't know if let's go enjoy the festivities. Let's go on over let's go to the stage. See what Tommy's hosting. Let's go over there.
Wow, man.
That's crazy, though.
Going back to, and I'm going to be honest with you, man, Mike is a whole nother level. For you to be done met him, that's on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people wish they would. My kids, man, they love Mike. And I'm like, how did they just fell in love with Mike? Mike was already been gone. But they loved Mike, didn't they? Just from the jump,
Houston.
bro. And Whitney Houston. I'm like, and you know,
there's something there. There's a magic there. There's something there. That transcends. That transcends all ages.
But you know my theory on, especially on Michael, I said, you know, Michael's name will never die, yes, but what to me helps him to live more is those Broadway shows. You know what I mean? In New York, all those Broadway shows, if you keep on having those Broadway shows of Michael Jackson, all these young kids, these adults are taking these kids to see these shows, and they're learning more about Michael's history, learning more about
it's out there.
People don't
his
always,
name will never die.
Ever.
People don't always have everyone can't go see a Broadway show.
Mm-hmm. It's not cheap.
Yeah, the means. That's what I was looking for. The means.
Right.
Everybody can't go to a
We
Broadway
went to
show.
our first one last year.
You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, but
in New York,
but
yeah.
it's a testament to who he was that there actually is one.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like having a ride at a theme park. It's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like
Different
it's
level.
a testament to what your thing is the fact that there's an actual ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like different
yeah.
things. Like it's like, what? There's a statue. There's a monument.
Yeah.
Testaments.
I just, like I said, I want to just say, you know, because I gotta talk about the fact of you got a clothing line that you're starting, or has it already been launched?
Curating.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
What prompted it, and why now?
It's just being that entrepreneurial, business-minded spirit of understanding what I like. It's like I always try to figure out like what I like to do and what do I like, and then do things surrounded what I like.
Okay.
Right. So, you know, and what makes sense. You know, if you study patterns and habits and trends and things of that nature, and what's a trend versus what's sustainable.
Okay.
Right? So when I was first approached, or when someone told me back then when I was wearing hats and all of that, like,
I love your hats, bro.
Like do the hat line back then. Well, that's when FUBU was out and all these other other companies that were out, Cross Colors, right? And you even Van Cleef, not Van Cleef. I'm sorry, Von Dutch.
Von Dutch did them hard hats.
Carl Kanai, all of these different, but a lot of them came and went. It wasn't around, and something told me something. I felt it. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but I was like, and maybe it was just an inner sense thing of understanding culture, right? It's like you be having pop, 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 boom, things pop, and then, but it's like, well, what settles? What still stays? You know what I'm saying? And so I never did it, and I never wanted to do it because I was like, yeah. And if I don't get it, if I don't understand it, but I don't have a want to do it, I'm not going to do it just because somebody else tell me to do it. Yeah. I got to want to do it. I got to, and then, but you see now, 10 years, 20 years later, they still want it. They still want it. It's still a thing. And then it makes sense to me. Yeah. It's like, okay. And then, so when you have a resurgence of something, but they never stopped asking for it. That's the difference.
Well, you even before, like, right? The clothing line is.
I don't know nobody crack. I don't know how popular heroin is today or crack. Like, I don't. I'm just saying. It's like it was big when it first came out. You know what I mean? But now I'm like, okay, I don't know. I mean, there's still crackheads out there. This is true.
Oh, you gonna have top and bottoms, or is it just tops, or is it hats? Is it a whole line?
Say what you mean. That sounds. What you mean?
No, are you gonna do a full run, or is it just gonna be hats, t-shirts? What are we looking at?
With regards to my clothing, I will provide a variety of
merchandise.
Isn't there a difference between
apparel?
Merchandise and apparel? There's a difference.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think so.
Merchandise.
Well, I'll tell you, because would a suit be considered merchandise, or would it be a part of your? Make sense what I'm saying now? Would you consider a suit merchandise? If you're Sean John, if you're
you don't do this, man. You're something else, man.
Calvin Klein.
Okay.
Would you, if he referred to one of his suits, he might refer to one of his suits in terms of inventory, but not singular as merchandise. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But apparel, when I go to a clothing show, all the years we went to them, is always the apparel show.
Right, not merchandise.
Yeah, you're right.
Merch, I think, is geared more towards a specific branding of things, right? So when you go to a comedy show and they, or a concert, t-shirts, merchandise.
That's what they say.
Right.
You got that merch?
You got that merch. It'll be like, please go get your Bon Jovi apparel.
So it's a difference.
I think it's also a difference perception-wise, too.
I think so as well, now that you try to break it down that way, because I wouldn't have never thought of that at first.
Yes,
you messed up my whole way of thinking about it.
I just think merchandise is like everything, because merchandise can be a keychain, it can be anything.
Right, merchandise.
And
that's what I meant when I said part of your inventory.
Right,
thing.
It's everything.
And apparel, just clothing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
I guess so. I got a question, because
a keychain could be merchandise, but it can't be apparel.
Right. Exactly. What are because you went to Howard, right?
Mm-hmm.
What benefits did you get from going to Howard University? And the reason why I'm asking is my daughter go to Brown University, and she goes, and she got a scholarship. It's Ivy League, we all know. But I'm like, what are the advantages of going to this Ivy League university compared to
Howard,
Howard, compared to just any other notable
HBCU
college?
One of the advantages was the learning of self. The acknowledgement of, or recognition of self in terms of culture, black person, people growing up at the time, they don't, the school system was very what it was, right? So you don't learn much about who you are as a person, as a people, in terms of culture, our people, right? And our contributions to this country and things, right?
Okay.
It was based on, you got to think, I came up in a time where I had to go to the library, and the only time they wanted you to do anything on Black History or report was during February. It wasn't all year long. It wasn't, and you had this one time to pick somebody. And then you start to realize, okay, so George Washington Carver or whatever.
Right.
You don't learn a lot, you don't have a lot of national pride. So it's like, unless there's things going on in the world, whether it be Jesse Jackson, right? But learning about that sense of community and having that pride and having that sense of, how strong we are together, how, we come from this, we did this, we did that, we did this, we built that, it was like, never got that growing up in the school system.
That's true.
Never, not one time did I ever feel that sense of community, that sense of belonging. And in DC, Chocolate City at the time, all of it, like I never.
Yeah, DC hard.
And that's my point. They had all of that Cosby show shit there, doctors and lawyers, and I was like, I feel like I was in Wakanda.
Wow.
No, I'm serious. Like in my first foray into Georgia, it was the same way. It was like, what? Look at all these Black folks doing well and living like this, but you don't get that. I didn't get that until I went there. So that was one of the things I got from that.
I want to wrap this up. I want to ask you, what can we expect tonight for the comedy show? What can the people expect?
Arlington Improv.
Let's go. Let's get it in. What can my people expect in Dallas, man? And welcome to Dallas, man. Arlington.
Thank you. To laugh, to be entertained, to heart. It's like somebody asked me, what is the heart of your show? I'm like, heart, man. I'll just bring myself and everything that come along with me, and we have a good time. I mean, in a relatable way. I think that people can expect to
laugh,
to be shocked,
right?
To laugh, to be laughed and escape just for those 2 hours.
Sound like he got a plan, because
he got a hell of a plan.
That laugh, like
one of them ingenious plans.
But something for you.
Yeah, I just want people to listen. We live in these crazy times right now, crazy times right now, and you can ask some of the elders. They'll tell you they don't think it's been this bad since the 40s.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? So, if God put me here to use my gifts, and my purpose is to provide that levity, to provide that healing, because you never know, somebody might need this ministry tonight of laughter and this healing.
That's real.
It's a ministry, right? And my great-grandmother always told me I was going to be a preacher. I just didn't know my pulpit, but
that's real.
Now I know what it is. So I put my heart and soul into stuff. And I also I'm led by honesty.
That's real. Honesty.
Yeah.
He gonna be telling the truth tonight.
Yeah.
He bringing the truth out.
Yeah. And it's just about having a good time and escaping for 2 hours. You got your babysitter, you got your gear, you got your clothes, whatever you did to come and forget about everything else.
And laugh.
And be present in the moment and just laugh. Let go. You know what I'm saying?
That's hard, man. Thank you so much. I want to ask you this, the last and final question from me. The reunion with Martin and all of the cast and all that. I got to ask that on this show. Like, how was it? Are you guys still linking up? I know Tommy's passing and all that brought y'all back together. I heard the story, but just how's everybody? Everybody's cool. Everybody's good. Everybody's thriving. Tisha is now taking her, what do you call it? What's the word? I hate when I can't think of words. Because I pride myself on being a wordsmith. She is taking a leap into stand-up. Really? Yeah. Awesome. I didn't know that. Yeah, and she's going to do great. She's going to do really good. Everybody's thriving. Tashina's doing her show. I got my show. Martin's back on the road. Yeah, that's what Gary was on the road with him. Yeah,
and he'll be here next month.
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah. So,
So everybody kicking it.
everybody just doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the branches.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah. It was cool. The reunion was cool. That was good. I think
We loved it.
I think people needed it. It was a little overdue, but not long enough to where it wasn't, that closure that everybody needed.
Yeah, I loved it, man. I appreciate y'all. That's my favorite show. My daughter that go to Brown, she love y'all. She know you. She know all of that cast because of me. I watch it over and over again. So thank you, man. Thank you so much.
It's a blessing, and I'm just thankful to have been a part of something, blessed to be a part of something, and thankful to be a part of something that meant so much to so many.
It did.
And the journey continues.
Man, thank you.
Now this is the next thing.
Could they ever turn that sitcom into a movie?
I think they did. I think somebody did some sort of parody of it or version of that. It's out there. And then I think they're doing a TV show where it's almost like the prequel.
Oh.
To like Martin's has some sort of deal where he's doing something where it's like how we met or the early years type of thing. So yeah.
Thank you so much, man. Carl, man, it's been a blessing to have you on Boss Talk 101, man. And people coming out tonight, I'm gonna be out there, so it's going down. If Boss Talk out there, it's going down.
Hey man, listen, it's gonna be crazy. But what my boy Faison did.
That's my boy, man.
He didn't tell me. You didn't tell me that your wife was Jamaican. Now that's a different kind of cookie. Had I known.
Oh man, you come over to the shop, man. It's going down, man.
Had I known that was the kind of food.
He loved my oxtails.
So look here, Sunday.
You can pull up.
Sunday,
you can pull up.
I'll cook you some.
Oxtail.
If you gonna pull up, we can
What's
get
your
you
favorite
straight.
Jamaican dish?
You just
is it the oxtails?
That's me. That's my favorite.
Or the curry chicken?
Nah. I mean, I go for the curry goat before I go for the curry chicken.
Mutton.
I'm looking for the fish, the brown stew escabeche fish. Yeah. But I like to mix them. I like to mix them too, and I like the fish. Look, I don't want the sauce to make it soft. Leave it crispy. The whole yes.
Wow.
Yes,
and that tangy sauce.
We got to get you out here so you can get ready, man. Hey, man, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thank you.
We love you. It's been another great segment of Boss Talk 101, where the bosses talk.
And we out.
We out.